Yes, sir, man. It's the Free Breakfast Podcast, food for thought, and your most important meal of the day. I go by the name of DJ Paulie Guab.
And I am Hefe Lockhart on the check-in, man. And today we here downtown Raleigh.
Downtown in the R.
We here with my man Ski Beatz. Now, if you don't know who Ski Beatz is, man, he's produced for Jay-Z, Kemp, Low, AZ, Lil Kim. Our generation might know him for the Pilot Talk series with Currency. You know, Jay Electronica, Most Def, the list go on, man.
Smoke Dizza.
Ski, how you doing today?
I'm good, baby. How you feeling? How y'all feeling?
Man, we doing good, man.
Doing great,
Thank
man.
you.
Glad to be out here in Raleigh kicking it.
Appreciate you,
Oh, no problem, man.
No problem.
We glad to be out here kicking it with you today, man, in Raleigh for your dojo class.
You already know, baby. NC. You know where I'm from.
NC.
Yes, sir. A lot of people don't know you from NC.
Greensboro.
Easy. Julian Street, right?
Julian Street.
Yeah,
Yeah, I went to A&T. What side of Greensboro you from?
By A&T, right there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let the people know, how long has the dojo tour been going on so far?
Wow.
And kind of let them know the details of what's taking place every class.
Well, I started the dojo tour in Greensboro.
Okay.
Well, we did Greensboro, we did Charlotte, Raleigh, obviously, New York next week. So not too long. What, a couple of 2 months, 3 months right now?
Okay. Okay.
But basically, you know, what I'm doing is now when I say dojo, it has nothing really to do with martial arts. It's just about, you know, being in an environment where we all training and trying to get better doing, you know, this music thing. So I'm basically just trying to drop knowledge, you know, give cats, you know, just some more tools for their tool belt, man. Because as producers, you know, we need as much knowledge as we can, you know, to keep it going. Because I know me, you know, when I was coming up, I was hitting ceilings because I didn't have no information.
Wow.
But once I started getting this information, you know, my production just got better. So, and I didn't have no OGs or nobody back in the day telling me how to do stuff. So I feel like, you know, I can get back. Ain't no problem.
Oh yeah. One thing, we got a chance to link up at the Charlotte stop, and it was just like, man, like the things that I was noticing that you were teaching producers, like you said, nobody's telling you this shit.
Right.
Like nobody's, you know, having you dig deep. Like yo, go behind here, take this cut, and then now you can do this. You know. So I really like that. You bring out a lot of abstract ideas. And creatives. I noticed that every class. So yeah.
It's, you know, it's a lot of us get comfortable with like the plugins that come or the VSTs or whatever, and I'm just trying to give them a little taste of some sound design, let them create their own sound, so you can say, yo, I actually created this bass sound, I actually created these key sounds, I actually made this drum sound myself. You know what I'm saying? Make it yours for real.
Right.
That's how you really kind of like develop your own sound, you know?
Right.
Now, in addition to them learning from you, do you ever run into some times where you learn something from students in
All
the
the
dojo
time,
class?
all the time, all the time. You know, new kids, you know, new ideas, man. They always open me up to new ways to create, man. All the time.
Oh yeah. So being from Greensboro, I want to ask you about Busy Boys and Original Flavor. Like I want to talk about that beginning era. But how did you get from Greensboro to a place like New York?
Busy Boys, man.
Okay.
I started with the Busy Boys. I wasn't producing it. I was just rapping.
Okay.
And we had this record called Dropping It.
Okay.
And the guy who owned the label, God bless his soul, Roland Jones, Payroll Records, he used to just do mail outs. He used to send all the records that we had to all the different radio stations and record companies, whatnot. Okay. And he sent the Dropping It record to BLS, and they started playing it. And to the point where, you know, we was popping in New York and we didn't even know it. You know, we in North Carolina, but they like heavily playing our Busy Boy records, you know, in New York.
Okay.
And so one time I think I was at A&T and Craig G was there from the Juice Crew.
Okay.
And he was asking about, you know, he knew that Busy Boys was from Greensboro, and he was asking, you know, the students, yo, y'all heard of the Busy Boys? We're trying to find this group of Busy Boys. And somebody called my mom's house, and luckily I was home. Yo, Craig G's at A&T. He want to meet you, you know, come to A&T. So I went up to T, spoke to him, and next thing you know, I was in New York doing an interview on the radio with Marley Marl and Mr. Magic.
Wow. Wow.
So you came up in a super early era. What year was this?
That's like 89, bro, 88, something like that.
Wow.
Now, coming from, like, Greensboro is one of the smaller towns in North Carolina. So was it like a culture shock going to New York? Big city, big lights?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild. Like it was amazing to me to see the skyscrapers and so many people running around and all the different diversities of people living in the same area. It was crazy, you know. But at the same time, it was exciting. You know, it was like this is what you want, especially being, you know, a rapper from North Carolina, and all the music at the time was from New York, and you know everything that was happening in New York. Yep. And to go there and get that energy, you know, felt great, man. And I kind of knew at the time we was doing something right musically. You know, to be accepted by, you know, these guys who, you know, a lot of times, you know, back then, you know, New York looked at, you know, down south as, you know, the country. They ain't got no swag. They ain't got no whatever. But we broke that. You know what I'm saying?
Now, did you move to New York, or were you just going back and forth at that first? At
that time, that first time, I was just going back and forth.
Okay.
And then the guy who owned the label, Roland, he was like, "Yo, I'm about to move back. Do you guys want to go?" And I was the only busy boy that said, "Yeah, I want to go." And I told my mom, I had like $20 in my pocket. Told my mom, I'm going to New York. And yeah, the rest was history, really.
You went to New York with $20 in your pocket.
With $20 in the dream, baby.
A whole Jackson in the dream. I can dig it. So what exactly is the difference between like a, I don't want to say the difference, but was Busy Boys and Original Flavor, was that the same kind of duo? And it evolved, or was it two separate situations?
Two separate situations. Busy Boys, I was the rapper. We had a DJ. We had a producer, Rhythm Fanatic. Okay. And two dancers, Move and Groove.
Wow.
And but the thing about it, I always look at the Busy Boys like it was like college for me. Because when I was in the Busy Boys, Fanatic, he actually taught me how to make beats. You feel me?
Okay.
And so I learned like how to make beats being with the Busy Boys. I learned how to create songs, song arrangements, all the things I needed when I got to New York. And when I formed Original Flavor with my first partner, Suave, I was making my own beats. You know what I'm saying? I was already doing everything.
So you were rapping, or you were self-producing? Everything?
Yeah, everything. Rapping and making beats.
Wow. It's crazy because in our generation, I notice a lot of that comes afterwards. Right. Like a lot of our, comrades that make music and have been making, 10 plus years start out, doing instrumentals and, getting little producers here and there, paying for leases and things like that. And then it's like, yo, nobody can usher that sound how I need it. Right. And then they start producing, self-producing. Then you got, guys like J. Cole, you got people like even a Sway Lee, somebody of a singing stature that had a whole group, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like in his development evolved into self-production, so that's a very important element.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that was just the norm back then. It was like, that was just how we did it, everybody just knew how to make music. That was just part of the thing, When I moved to New York, and Clark Kent, he was the first one to actually sign Original Flavor to Atlantic Records.
Okay.
I was about to say, was he working at Atlantic at that time?
And he was the first one who kind of told me, he said, yo, dude, these beats, what are you doing with these beats? And I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, yo, man, you're a producer, Wow. You need to, I could sell these tracks. And I didn't even know what a producer was. I'm like, what do you mean a producer? Wow. He's like, yo, you can take this music, I can give it to people, and they might want to, buy it.
Right.
And I know, he sold my first track to Father MC for like 8 G's.
Wow.
That was and after I got that taste of that 8 G's.
What you do with that first check?
Man, bought chains and dumb shit. But you know what? It was dope. Yeah. Because he put me in that loop, and I started meeting all these people, and I started producing people out of nowhere. Like, all these people came, and I was like the hot young kid that was from North Carolina that moved to New York. Okay. So everybody was coming to me. I was rocking. Rocking.
It's okay. So from getting in New York, you go from Busy Boys, Original Flavor. You've been there. You mentioned names like Clark Kent, and just being in that environment. How did that get you to In My Lifetime?
Wasn't Dame managing Original Flavor?
Yeah. Dame was managing Original Flavor. The day I signed my record deal.
I did not know that. That's wild.
The day I went to Atlantic and signed my record deal, Dame Dash was there. Dame and Darian Dash was there. Okay. And Clark was like, yo, these my guys. They want to manage y'all. They like your music. That's all right, let's go. You know what I'm saying? And me and Dame was rocking since then, bro.
That's crazy.
He was always the same dude, like
always
real witty,
with $1 in his pocket, with $100 million in his pocket, and people don't know that. People might think that Dame is arrogant because he got money or whatever.
Yeah.
No, that's him.
That's him.
That's why I respect Dame
Through and through.
Through and through. He
That's
never
him.
changed.
Okay.
Never changed.
So with him managing, I'm jumping back on track to his question.
Oh,
With
yeah,
Dame
for sure.
managing Original Flavor, how did that become like that? How did that get you on Reasonable Doubt? And
Because Clark also around the same time, Clark was going after Jay, trying to get Jay-Z a situation.
Okay.
And Clark was like, yo, I got this rapper, his name is Jay-Z. I'm telling you, he's incredible. He's incredible. And I remember we were shooting a video, Here We Go. And Clark brought Jay-Z, Jazz on Source Money to the video shoot. And after the video, we was all sitting around, and Clark asked Jay to rhyme. And Jay started rhyming. And I was like, yo, this is like the best rap I heard in my life, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was that crazy with the lyrics. And after that, Dane was like, yo, you need to hook up with Ski, and y'all need to make some beats. So we started doing that.
Okay.
And then somehow, since O Flavor was already out, we threw Jay-Z on Can I Get Open to help, push him out.
yeah,
You feel me?
Okay.
And Jay was running around doing tours with us for a minute before, he was Jay-Z.
Yeah.
You know, he was just part of the whole Dash Entertainment.
So this is post jazz, correct?
Post Jazz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Post jazz. Oh, excuse me for
Yeah.
listeners.
Yep.
So in my lifetime, was that like amongst the first batch of records?
That was the first song I ever did for Jay in my
Wow.
lifetime.
damn.
The remix or the original? Did you do the remix as
I
well?
did the original.
Oh, you did the original.
Clark
okay.
did the remix.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love both. I listen. I say I listen to the remix a little more just
Yeah.
because it's more.
Get that.
Yeah,
Yeah, get that swing. Yeah.
Yeah, that joint is crazy. That joint is crazy.
Yeah.
So post that. They always say a lot of times that they never. I guess people like you said, like Clark and Dame, they were trying to shop deals for Jay, and nobody was picking them up. Nobody wanted to sign. So did they kind of keep you around in that main kind of halt of people that first, Biggs, Dame, and Shaka Pilgrim. Shout out to her.
When they was when they was shopping Jay, I mean, I was never around for the shopping process.
Okay.
I was just always in the studio when it was time to record.
Okay.
But they would tell me like, man, these motherfuckers, they don't know what they talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. And I just remember the day they say, yo, fuck it, we're going to do it ourselves.
Wow.
And, that's when I kind of figured out, Jay was making moves in the streets. Because I didn't even know. I thought he was just a rapper.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, I saw all this lavishness coming out.
Wow.
I'm like, whoa. I'm seeing Mercedes Benz's wrapped with
the rock logos
Rockefeller
and
and
shit.
everything on it.
Yeah.
I'm seeing like all kind of stuff. All of a sudden, chains and everything start coming out of nowhere. Bottles of Chris. I'm like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Yo, where y'all
second.
getting this bread from? You know what I'm
Wait
saying?
a second.
Yo, they went full steam. And that was the first time, I saw like an independent label pay me. And I was getting paid, and I tell the story all the time. They was putting thousands of dollars in my book bag to pay me, bro. I would be on the train with like
heard.
$20,000 in my book bag. On the train.
They were just throwing you bags of money. I was going to ask you that. They were just
Yeah.
throwing you bags of
They was
money. You
paying
walk
me
around
in
with
cash.
20 G's in New
On the
York.
train, baby.
In New York City.
On the train.
Wow.
Man, I remember going to Dame crib, and they just had money laid out like, I don't even know how much. It was just the whole floor was stacks. The
Just
whole
money.
floor was
Yeah.
stacked for paying, the producers, and they was doing their thing.
Yeah.
They made it happen
All the way independent.
all the way.
Wow.
So it wasn't even like paperwork back then. It was just like, yo,
love.
ski.
It was love.
It was love. It was
Wow.
cool. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Me and Dame, I lived in this building. Dame lived in that building. We lived the same thing.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
it was crazy, bro. Like,
What's
the
so
experience was
crazy though? Because Reasonable Doubt was 96,
Mm-hmm.
and I this is probably like literally my favorite question because I didn't know until diving back in that you produced one of my favorite songs of all time by Bahamadia.
Yeah.
You know how we do.
You know how we do.
That song is so like,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of that it's a hit, but it's a sleeper.
Yeah.
And I say that just because it's such a legendary, great song, but it's just not the I guess the mainstream,
Right.
and it's such a crazy cut. Like I appreciate that. That's one of my favorite songs ever. I listen to that song weekly.
Yeah,
weekly.
Man. That Bahama
Weekly,
deal was.
Sure.
You know what? Around that
How'd
time,
you link with her? Like, how was
being
that?
in D&D. You heard
Okay.
of D&D?
D&D, that's where they did Reasonable Doubt, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay, where's D&D at?
It's in New York City.
New York.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But that was the go-to studio. Primo, he had it locked down.
Wow.
And Primo was producing Bahamadia. Wow. And
okay.
I was at D&D every day with, every day producing Camp Lo or Jay-Z or, whomever was in there. And I met everybody because all the artists came through. And they always showed love. They would come in the studio and be like, yo, who beat is that? You want it?
Easy.
Boom. And we was getting money like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I met Bahamadia. I just, walked into a session. I'm like, oh, shoot, you Bahamadia. I love your record. Boom, boom, boom. Wow. It's like, yeah, I like your beats too. You got a beat? I'm like, yeah, I do. And I played the beat. You know how we do. I just came off. You feel
When
me?
the pumping in the chicken soul, right. What sample was that? True. that wasn't no sample.
I played down the SP.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I hear stories about D&D. People say, like, it wasn't the most appealing looking studio.
Yeah, D&D was crack, man. D&D was crack. Yo, matter of fact, I'm gonna show you a picture. I can't show it on the camera.
Oh yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
I'm gonna show you a picture of how legendary D&D was. Like everybody, bro.
Everybody used to come through there.
Wow.
Dude, everybody. Hold on, let me see if I can find this.
Is that where you met Kim through D&D? Just being around?
Biggie.
Okay, and that's crazy because I was going to ask you, what was your relationship like? What was your connection to Big?
Me and Big was cool. I mean, I was about to produce Big, right before all that stuff happened, just to show you.
Let me see.
Oh, wow.
You see what I'm saying? Just to show you. And I can't show this to nobody. I can't even post this.
Wow.
But y'all seen it.
Yeah.
Wow.
We seen it.
It was real.
Wow.
Damn.
Thank you, big homie. I
Yeah, man.
appreciate that.
That's
real.
a gem right
That's
there.
a gem. Hey, Hefe, that relates to what?
No cap. That's
yeah,
crazy.
man.
Like that in your brain, because last time you go see that one.
Wow. I got, mental note. That was,
So
wow.
Camp Lo was also producing. Now, I think, people always say, like, Dead Presidents is one of the greatest hip-hop beats of all time. And I don't fault that, but I'm taking Lucchini as one of the coldest hip-hop beats of all time.
Wow.
Yo, Lucchini was,
Stamp.
to me, Lucchini was my biggest record for me, because that was the record. I mean, Dead President was dope, and I heard it on the radio a couple times. But Lucchini, when I came home and I went to visit my mom, and I was in G-Boro, and I knew it was popping when I heard Lucchini on the radio. They played it like 40 times. I'm like, why the fuck they keep playing this song? They know I'm home or something? But it was just playing it because it was taking off, and I didn't even know it was blowing up.
Yeah.
That song is like timeless, B. And obviously Camp Lo, man, they're my boys, and it was a pleasure working with them because, I was doing the Jay-Z thing, and, and what Jay was talking about was dope, and I loved it, you know what I'm saying? But Camp Lo was so abstract, so native tongue, so different, and I always like doing different things. And when we caught that wave, they was gonna sign. I was trying to get Dame to sign them, but they wasn't. They thought it was kind of corny. I'm like, nah, dude. Yeah, I'm like, nah, dude. Trust me, these boys is crazy.
Camp Lo was from DC, right?
Bronx.
They from the
New York,
Bronx.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I never. It was. They always seem to make that. I don't know what it was about Lucchini. It just it gave me a DC feel, like I don't know.
Bronx, baby.
How does a beat like that, was that ever originally intended to go somewhere else, or could that have went anywhere else, or you made that specifically for them?
I made that for them, and the reason I made that for them is because after I made Politics as Usual for Jay-Z, and Camp Lo heard it, and they kind of got mad, like, yo, why you always give him the best beats? I'm like, come on, babe. You know what I'm saying? and at the same time, their Profile Records, that's the label they was on. They was screaming for like a single. We had the album. They're like, the album is dope, but we need something that's going to knock it out the park. So I was just digging until I found that sample. It had that Politics horn type thing, and it felt like it could be on the radio. So I just chopped it up and we did it.
So with Streets is Watching, right? Was the film with the song like? Was that a whole process, or y'all kind of was everything on the fly back then with those types of things?
The Streets is Watching. The song was. I definitely did the song before all of that.
Okay.
Before they even had the idea to do that whole movie thing or whatever they did. But I was just a fire song. It took me like a week to make that beat.
Wow.
That's when I first started learning how to chop.
Okay.
Get my chops right. And it took me like a week to get it right. When I played it for Jay, he was like, yo. And Big was in the other room. He said, go play it for Big. Wow. And I played it for Big. He was like, yo, that's for Jay, right? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, But then when he dropped that verse on it, I was like, yo, this guy's crazy. That's like, it's a long verse, but it's hot. He killed that joint. He killed that streets joint.
If you could tell me, and I don't even know if you can answer this question, but I'm going to ask you, if you could tell me one track from an artist that you have, like from a track that might not ever come out, but it might have been a cold track from back in the day, would there be an artist you could say, like, do you, of course you and Jay might still have some shit in the cut, but
Rod Digger.
Rod Digger.
Or I could say Big L.
Wow.
Me and Big L, we had at least 5, 6, 7 songs done. Almost, we was working on the whole album because Big L was about to sign to Rockefeller.
What?
Wow.
We did some.
I'm gonna tell you what's so crazy. We literally earlier today we were in the car listening to the 7-8 minute freestyle with Bobito, Stretch, and Big L and Jay, and we were talking about how Jay is just he just didn't give a fuck, like, about nothing. Like, it was just so, like, yo, I don't give a goddamn who it was. Like, yo, I'm here now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was super in the moment, in the like, yo, like, I got bread. I'm not broke, my nigga. Like, exactly. we out here doing something, you know?
And look, let me tell you something. Jay and Sauce and Jazzo, they used to run up on people and battle them.
Wow.
They ran up on Phife. God bless his soul.
Wow. R.I.P. Phife Dog.
R.I.P. legend.
But Phife didn't do it. They ran up on LL. I was there for that. And Jay destroyed LL.
What?
Oh my God.
With the vigorous?
I don't think I ever hear nothing about that battle. I only hear about the DMX and Jay.
Yeah, I was there for
you was there for that
one?
You
was there for the DMX? Yeah. Come clean, who won? Let's keep it all the way factual.
Man, it was like, to me, that was both dope. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Jay was dope. X was dope. That was like, yo, you couldn't say, because Jay had his style, X had his style. I love them both, man.
That's what everybody said. Everybody say, oh, it was a draw, bro. I don't.
But he crushed L.
I've seen numerous interviews where DMX will be like, bro, I won. Like, you know? Like,
they say Big L was the recorder of that footage.
Wow.
From that freestyle.
Gems. Gems, Hefe. I did not know that.
That's what they say.
Wow.
Damn.
That's fire. Okay, so Post Streets is watching, right? And this is what, 97? I wanted to ask you, I see you produced a track for Lord Tariq and Peter Guns.
Right.
With our generation, we're more so accustomed with Corey Guns. Right. You know what I'm saying? When he came out, you know, that 07, 08, Wayne, you know, Young Money era, mixtape era, heavy. But what role did Peter Guns serve in the industry back then, or at least in hip hop and culture?
Guns, man, you know, they had that smash. They had the what's the name of that?
Uptown, baby.
Uptown, yeah. But other than that, though, like, what was, you know what I'm saying? Like, was he? What was his kind of niche that kept him in there? You know,
he's just a cool dude, dog. I mean, you meet Pete, man.
It was his energy.
Like,
okay.
Yeah, you fuck with him. You feel me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Tariq, mad cool.
Okay.
And they both from the BX. And I was living in the BX at the time. Okay. And I fuck with him.
Wow.
That was dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because my knowledge on Peter Guns just isn't, you know, that vast. But I've always heard of him, you know what I'm saying? And we were very familiar with his son. So I was just, you know, trying to align that.
They introduced me to Pun. That's how I got the, you know, like with the record. I did Cross Bronx Expressway on the album.
Yes, indeed.
Pun was on it.
Yes,
and then I ended up doing John Blaze,
right?
With Big Pun, Nas, and everybody.
Right.
Me?
Later on down, it's crazy. I was going to ask you about the Don Cartagena album that you when you did that track for Fat Joe. That's wow. So back then they introduced, that was your connection to Pun in the Bronx. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And it seemed like the industry was just, everybody was cool with each other in New York. It just seemed like it was easy. If you was in the mix, you could get your shit off. You know what I'm saying? And
it wasn't as many producers or as many artists. It was like a little circle. Okay. And everybody fucked with each other. Everybody, you know, there was this shitload of money and everybody was spreading love. Yeah. You feel me? Wasn't no hating. Wasn't none of that. It was just like, yo, get on my album. Wow. Talk to my A&R. They gave it to you. Okay. You get the work done. You move to the next thing. Then you ask them, yo, I need you on this. I got a budget. What you need? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We all looked out for each other.
Right.
We kept it rotating.
That's love. That's love.
No beefs. No controversy. Right. Nothing like that. It was just like music.
Ooh. Authenticity. Yeah. I appreciate that.
It's different from nowadays, man.
Because everybody want to be seen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We living in the
got the social media era.
Yeah,
going.
we living in the social media area. Everybody trying to pull a publicity stunt to get seen. It seemed like, but not everybody, because there's definitely some good music out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, you see what it is. It's a lot of
speaking
funny stuff.
Speaking of good music, when did you meet Kanye West?
I never met Kanye.
You've never met Kanye West? Wow.
Never met Kanye.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's you and Justice relationship like?
We cool.
Cool.
We cool, definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all ever build on beats and sessions, things like that? Never?
I mean, I've been to a couple of his sessions. I've seen him work. Definitely a fan of his.
Okay.
I'm sure you're a fan of me.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all love.
What's your favorite ski beat?
My favorite ski beat?
That's out, of course.
It's out.
You know what I'm saying? It can be old, new.
We was talking about Address today. That's definitely one of them.
Ooh.
Oh, I can say audio dope. I love
Shout
that.
out to my boy Stabby.
But I love Taxi, Cream of the Plant. I mean, it's too many beats, man. It's just, I don't even know, bro.
iPhone said it's your birthday.
Speaking of that birthday, that cool kid.
iPhone
Speaking
said
of
it's
Taxi,
birthday.
man.
Okay.
I remember we was in the Charlotte session. That's actually where we met you. And I asked you about that DD172 era, man. How was that? That seemed, you know, we talking J Electronica, Currency, Wiz, Dash,
Dizzle.
Most Def,
That
Smoke
was like,
Dizza.
that was an ill, crazy moment in time. That was a producer's dream to just sit up in his room and Dame is like, yo, Ski, Most Def's downstairs. He's coming up.
Wow.
Got a beat. Yo, J Electronica's here. It's coming up. Yo, Cool Kids, they're coming up. Yo, Erykah Badu's, everybody, Zoe Kravitz, everybody was coming in the studio. I was just making beats, bro.
Just making beats.
And they would just get on the mic and do songs. Like, I got songs that I did with people we ain't even dropped. But just everybody.
So
everybody.
out of all those artists, how did you and Spitter get so tight?
It was wild because I never heard any of Spitter's music. I didn't even know who Currency was. And right. And I went to Dame's crib and he was sitting on the beanbag. And Dame was like, yo, this is Currency. He wanted to meet you. He's a fan. He was like, yo, dog, man, I love your music, man. Yo, I want to do some work with you. Then I heard his accent. I'm like, okay, he's from New Orleans.
Wow.
He's going to want me to do some bounce music. I'm like, dude, what kind of beats you want from me? I want you to do you. And then he started telling me what kind of music he liked. I like Marvin Gaye. I like stuff like that. And I'm like, what? Then I started,
Real
then
player
we did,
shit.
the first record we did was Life Under the Scope.
Wow.
When I caught that wave, I'm like, oh, he like that smooth shit.
Yeah.
And he said, he like get high. And I'm like, I can just keep it mellow. And we caught him.
Okay.
And I knew his zone.
Okay, so how far? Okay, from Life Under the Scope to Skyborn, how far apart is that?
Man, it's like a month apart.
Ooh,
we was working.
I
Y'all
feel
just
it.
bang-
It's
y'all
in,
just banging
it's in
out
the
the
core.
house.
After that, we did the video.
Yeah.
That's the same day we did the song. We
Wow.
made the song, and as soon as we got the song done, played it for Dame. Yo, shoot the video. They shot the video that night and put it up the next day.
Wow.
And it's crazy because Stally told me the story about Address, and Address was a similar story where they recorded the song, and Stally was like, yo, we flew out to Jamaica, shot the video maybe a couple of days after we did the song.
Dude, we did the song in Jamaica, dude.
What?
I was playing beats, and that beat, Address, I made that beat in 1996.
Wait, hold on, wait a second. Hold on. Let's wait. What? You made the beat to Address in '96?
That was an old beat I had, and I played it for him, and they was like, yo.
No way.
I'm like, this is an old beat, dog. I don't care. It's dope. And they recorded it in Jamaica that day, and we shot the video in Jamaica that day, dog.
Wow. In real time.
Real time.
In real time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ill.
Dog, that's crazy. So y'all was just it was just work back then. It wasn't about
It didn't even feel like
any
work.
of the
It was
politics.
Like, it was a dream,
like
doggy.
it was
It was
living.
a dream. It was like it wasn't like no money floating around, but it was just to meet all these people and do all these crazy things. Go to Jamaica, have these parties that we was having like every day. We was having a party in a fucking DD172, and everybody who was somebody was there.
Was it?
Wow.
It was
crazy.
the time.
It was the time.
Wow.
That energy brought me back to you guys. You know what I'm saying? Currency brought me to y'all.
Yeah,
Wow.
because our generation
Wow.
probably mostly knows you from your work with
Right.
Ice Spitter.
And then when they go back, they go, "Oh shit, he did this." And
Yeah,
did that."
exactly.
You feel me?
And half the people don't even they'll be singing Dead President's word for word and have no clue
Who did it.
of who constructed that.
Yeah.
Like that's wild.
I mean, because
That's
back then
wild.
I was one of those producers who wasn't really, I I wasn't a Timberland. I wasn't a Neptunes. I wasn't trying to be like, yo. I was just making beats and just getting the money. You feel me? And nobody ever knew my face. They'd never see me. You know what I'm saying? Unless you knew me. Okay. And then when people started seeing who I was, and like, oh, that's the guy who did that and did that. You feel me?
So what about that London time with DD 172 and that Creative Control? Like, were you around for those London days, or was you like when they were in London heavy? Like him, Mos Def, Ye, who else? Talib, things like that. Were you around then?
I went to London, but I didn't go with DD 172. I was, doing some other things. But no, I wasn't there for that.
Okay. What were you doing out there? That's why a lot of producers don't, really venture overseas. Artists do, but I don't see producers doing that much.
I was working on a 24-hour karate school, London.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
I had all the dopest. It's done, but I couldn't drop it. But I had all the hottest rappers from London. They was on it. Wow. And at the time, I was dating Terry Walker. I don't know if you know who that is. But anyhow, she's a singer. Anyhow, she was from London. So she introduced me to a lot of people out there. And, I was in the mix.
That's fire.
Yes, it was dope.
So when me, Hefe, and Clean were in high school, we used to love this song called "Put Me in the Pocket."
Ooh, Tabby.
Pocket.
Tabby Benet.
How did you get acquainted with Tabby? Was that a Dame thing, or y'all just met in D.C.?
Hazik. My boy Hazik Ali.
Okay.
Him and Tabby was in a group called Organized Rhyme.
Wow.
And he introduced me to Tabby. I had met Tabby once, in passing through Hazik.
Right.
And then one day, somehow Tabby came up to DD172. And I was like, oh, shit, Tabby. You know what I'm saying? Wow. And I heard Pocket. I'm like, that song, I love that song. That's one of my joints. You know what I mean?
Favorite songs ever.
And I like Tabby's swag. I like his flow. So we just started working on music, man. Right. Me and Tabby did some dope songs together. Wow. You know what I'm saying? What was that joint we did? Parachutes? Check that shit out when you get a chance. Parachutes was crap.
Yeah. Okay. So,
I gotta go back to Poly Talk series real quick. Yeah. Poly Talk 1 was hard, but Poly Talk 2, I put that in like my top 10 hip hop albums of all time, and it might be because of the era I was born in as well. Hard. I think you started playing around with like more live instrumentation on that album.
Yeah. Poly Talk 2 was done the same time Poly Talk 1 was done. Those was all songs we did at the same time.
At the same time?
Yeah, that was done. We just put 1 out first, and 2 was ready.
Just sitting in the chamber. I love
it. There. You know what I'm saying? We recorded all them songs.
It's so crazy. Me and Hefe, we used to ride around in his Ford Explorer.
In the Ford Explorer?
He used to have
I still got the Poly Talk CD. Yeah. I bought Poly Talk 2 the day it came out.
We used to pull up to the student parking lot. That was back when FYE was still open. Right. And did you go to FYE?
I went to FYE
you went
after
to FYE,
school.
Right? I remember. Because we both was like, bro, we got to. What else came out right during that time, too? Because you bought more than one CD that day. I
remember that Poly Talk too, though.
I remember. Because we used to we would come in the student parking lot, ski blasting Michael Knight. I'm talking blasting. Like,
Michael Knight was crazy.
And then shout out to a G in real estate. Shout out big homie Dom Kennedy. Yeah. Like, I literally still listen to those songs to today. That's the shit I like to ride to.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
It is. It's timeless music.
It's timeless music, man. If you find good music that don't sound dated, it's just timeless, man. Like I think that's one of the things about today's music, because you can tell it's today's music. But when you got timeless music that you know is gonna last forever, like if I listen to like an Anderson .Paak, I know I can hear that 10 years from now, because it feels like, yo, this is
yes,
dope.
Lord,
this is dope. You feel me? Like I know I'm gonna love it. But if I listen to like some other stuff, some hip hop, I don't want to say trap. I don't want to put it in some type of thing, but you know what I'm trying to say. I know it's for this era and it's for this time. Like there's certain type of hip hop that if you listen to it, it sounds old school. You feel me? Like, oh, they made that back in the 90s. But if you play like Address.
I was just about to say, like, it's crazy to me that you say you made that in 96. Like, I wouldn't even be able to tell.
It just feel like good music.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's a vibe. So that's what it's about. Producers need to catch vibes and start trying to ride a wave. You know what I'm saying? If you catch a vibe, you're going to have them forever. You ride a wave, you're going to be hot for that moment. But when it's over and that disco is gone, what are you going to do?
Right. It's so with the Poly Talk 2 era, following that, I noticed on Pilot Talk 3, your production credits kind of slimmed down just a little
all over
bit.
that, yeah.
Right, yeah. Normally you all over it with the Pilot Talk series. So even though Get Down is one of my favorite songs. I like listening to that when I'm at the beach. Whenever I go to the beach, I like to listen to that song. It makes me think of water.
Right.
But what sparked that? Like, why?
What was the reason? I don't know. It wasn't no love loss or anything like that. I think it was just more of, he decided to do it. And he probably already had some beats on deck.
Okay.
Then I started sending him a few joints and he used it.
Okay.
But Pilot Talk 4, I did the whole thing.
I was about to hear. We heard that's done. We heard it's done.
I'm just waiting for him to let it out the chamber.
Okay.
So
we ready for that.
But one thing I noticed though with the two, because you produced Briefcase too, and it was a lot of, like Hefe said, a lot of live instrumentation, and I noticed we were texting about it the other day how every time you and Spitter perform, 9 times out of 10 is with the band. Right. And I haven't been able to experience that live show yet. I hope we will soon. But what do you feel like is the difference versus him performing just the songs on tour and it's all fun and cool versus you actually being there live on keys, on pads? Right. What's that different aesthetic like?
When you got a live band, anything can happen, anything can happen. You playing the music live, where the drums usually don't drop out, they might drop. Where the bass line plays, they might add a different part. You know what I'm saying? It's just different. It moves different,
It's crazy.
Ski Beatz and the Senseis.
Oh.
The Senseis, yes.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's the name of the band?
That's the name of the band, yeah.
Ski Beatz. I noticed DJing live that you hear sounds that you don't hear even in the studio. Right. Songs you don't hear in the studio, you don't hear in the car. Right. These are just sounds that you like you said, those low end 808s, those silent little
out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the producer element of surprise. You can hide that in the production. It's like code. Yeah. What do you Hefe, if what do you think would be if Ski Beatz made a project locked in with an artist in today's time?
Who would I want to hear?
Who would you want to hear?
Ooh, man.
Ski Beatz in 2019. Full project.
Ski Beatz in 2019? I don't know.
I'm going to let you think. Sidebar, Ski. How great of a producer do you think Chuck English is? Because he's a star. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Chuck English is dope.
Star. Yeah. And I love the fact that you worked with them. Or you can put a mic towards you. Whatever comfortable. But I feel like y'all chemistry is so summer. It's so, like they from Chicago, Detroit, real players. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So y'all whole vibe is just, we players in North Carolina, so you already, you know what I'm saying, coming with that you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But what's it like working with them? Do y'all send beats or do y'all kind of link and do the studio thing?
We're working together.
Okay, together. I love room. That.
Yeah. Mikey is crazy with the lyrics. Legend. Chuck is ill on the beats, and he's throwing ideas at me like, "Yo, you should do it like this." I'm like, "I never thought about that." Then I'll do it. I'm like, "He's like, yeah." I'm like, "You're right." You know
okay.
It's dope, man. Kook is ill, bro.
I got the answer to your question.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love to see you do some work with the Griselda Boys, West Side Gun, Benny the Butcher.
Wow.
Hell yeah, man. I would love that.
That would go crazy.
That would be crazy.
Shout out my brother Jew, man. He's a huge fan. He be trying to get
Buffalo
me
Boy.
Benny the Butcher.
Yeah, Benny the Butcher, my favorite out of Griselda.
Okay.
He raw.
Wow.
He raw.
I like guns, but I'm gonna check out Benny the Butcher. But Griselda is hard. They hard. They bring in that thing back. Yeah. They're like, oh, I'm a fan. Yeah. You want to hear their whole project, like, you know what I'm saying? And they shit don't sound like nobody's.
Nobody.
That's what we need. That's what hip hop is about. Hip hop is about new, innovative, original shit. Not everybody sounding the same way. Not everybody using the same sound. Not everybody trying to sing the same way. You feel me? You got to be original. That's what it's about.
What do you feel like? If you had to choose, like right now, this is kind of a 3-part question, right? On the first part, I want to know what artists would you like to work with that you aren't currently working with in 2019, and what artists do you listen to that you may not work with necessarily but you rock with the wave. I know you mentioned Anderson .Paak. Shout out to him. But other than that, kind of get in depth for me if you can.
I mean, I listen to Rock Marciano. I listen to the Griselda guys, of course. Who would I want to work with? Somebody mentioned Nipsey Hussle, and I was like, yeah, I would love to do a joint with Nipsey Hussle because I know it'll fit. You know what I'm saying? I know I could give him something that's crazy.
You ever heard a song by him called Double Up?
Double Up.
With Don Kennedy? When you get in the whip, get settled, play that on your Apple Music or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever vision you got, play that Double Up by Nipsey Hussle, Belly, and Don Kennedy.
Okay.
Literally one of the best composed songs, and Blue Laces Part 2.
Okay.
Listen to both of those. Those real, that's your speed right there. You're going to be like, oh, okay, let me tap in. You know what I'm saying? Get that together. You know, what's next for Ski Beatz?
I was just about to say, what you got next for us, man?
You know, just keep bringing the dojo to the rest of the states. I'm trying to hit everywhere. I'm trying to go to ATL. I'm trying to go to LA. Trying to go to Vegas. Trying to go Midwest, South Carolina, everywhere, man. Just trying to whoever want to do it.
When you go out to Atlanta, I want to connect you with our brother Miles Harris.
Okay,
big producer out there. Really doing this thing. Very proud of him. He does a lot of work with Mike Will out there, so I think y'all would kill it. Kill it. Man.
Connect me, man. That's what it's about.
For sure. What Pilot Talk 4 tour?
It's on Spitter, baby.
We need the album first.
The music's done. It's on
can we get it at the same time?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just, you know what I'm saying? A little album, a little tour. You know what I'm saying?
Spitter, man, you know, he keeps so much ammo in the chamber. He got albums that's I don't know when he gonna get the Pilot Talk, but I know he got so many other albums that's done and ready to go. Like, I ain't ever seen nobody work as hard as this kid.
Wow. It's crazy. Another thing, Hefe, I got an answer. When I asked you the question, I didn't have the answer.
What was that?
About who Skis can work with in this day and time, bro. It's a lot of talk about the Spitter Larry June project, and that EP situation that they, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's a project.
Yeah.
That Ski Beatz could executive produce.
I heard
100%.
Was that Corner Boy P on the phone? He mentioned something about Larry June, but
okay.
Yeah. Larry June is dope, man.
Yeah.
Larry June is dope. I would love to work with him. He actually reached out to me. I got so much shit going on, so I want to stay focused. But I definitely want to. I like him. I like his fans too. His fans is mad cool.
So
his music is dope.
As far as like, what's now that you kind of, I don't want to say you kind of stepped out of the light or the mainstream, but you kind of, it's at a point now where you're not really necessarily placing records or doing that on the schedule. It's like, yo, I'm literally doing whatever I want to do every day, all day, and I love that. Like if you can take us through like what Ski Beatz does nowadays, like, but other than the tour and things like that.
When I wake up,
take us through a day with Ski Beatz.
I wake up, give me a little cup of coffee.
Okay.
Throw on some Netflix, chill out, watch a movie or something.
Okay.
Go into the studio, maybe mess around with some sounds, see how I'm vibing, whatever. While I'm creating, that's when my mind started coming up with like, yo, I need to do a JoJo. Yo, I need to come up with some type of album. Yo, I need just these ideas hit me. When I get something I like, write it on my board, and just start executing that plan.
Wow.
And that's every day. And things just click. You know what I'm saying? I just let it click.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And if I ever choose to say, you know what, I'm going to start shopping beats or whatever, I'll do that. But that's not been my main thing. My main thing has just been like stepping away from the industry. You know what I'm saying? Stepping away from that the business and the industry is kind of weird. I done did that. But just being totally independent, being able to come to NC, do things like this, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's more enjoyment for me.
Right.
How often do you get back down here, or just to do the dojo series? Like, do your family still live in Greensboro?
Yeah, my mom's still in the borough. Everybody's in the borough. Yeah, I mean, I need to come down more often, but these dojo classes have been bringing me home.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
That is a fact.
And everybody's been, they've been taken to it, and I love to see when, a young producer's like, whoa, I never thought of that. Oh, this is dope. I love this. Thank you. And because I know how I felt. You know, when I first got a little bit of knowledge doing some production thing, and it feels good to see that. You know, so.
And I heard you mention. You said next week is the New York City class, right?
April 20th.
April 20th. Okay, yeah. I want to link you with my brother Kirk Collins. Okay. He's a SAE graduate. Grew up with us, one of our great brothers. He's into production, you know, everything like that, music. He's up there. He actually works in New York City schools, teaching schools. He works out in the Bronx, works in Queens, teaching students production. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to get him, you know, connected with you out there because I love what you're doing with the dojo classes. I love it. Very instrumental, very attacking at the root. You know what I'm saying? You giving back to where you came from.
We need that, man, especially in NC. We need something we need outlets. You know what I'm saying? We need things. We need classes. We need events for producers to showcase their music. You know, every other city got it. We need to do it. You know what I'm saying? Why not? You know?
Now, this is one of my last questions. I know you DJ for Mobb Deep in the later years.
Yeah. Whoa. What?
Fact. R.I.P. Prodigy. What's your most memorable Prodigy story?
P. Oh, yeah, going to Africa. We in South Africa. We in Johannesburg. And we went to this petting zoo. And me and P, Havoc didn't go. He should have went. He missed that one. But me and P at the petting zoo, man, we was holding baby cubs. Baby lion. I got it on my phone. Baby lion cubs, man. And just seeing how P was, you know, being... You know, still thug, but kind of nervous at the same time, holding this thing like, we're trying to keep it thug. Yo, that was so funny, man. My dude P, man. P, amazing person, bro. Amazing
How long did you tour with them guys?
Shit, like 3 years? Like 3 years. They took me around the world, bro. 3 times. Wow. I've been everywhere.
So what year did you link up with them? Like, where did that fall in the mix of everything, you know, we talked about? From 90... Well, what year was it?
It wasn't in the 90s when I met them.
It was later on.
I met them after the whole DD172 thing.
Oh, so this is 04 50 Cent era right now. What we talking?
Man, this
2011.
is like this is like 20. I said 3 years ago. Like 2016.
Whoa, what?
2015, 2016.
Oh, damn.
Wow. That's when I hooked up with
so this is super recent.
Recent. What happened was I was working on a project that never came out, and I wanted Prodigy on it. And I reached out to his manager, and Prodigy came to my crib.
Wow.
And, you know, we was working on a song, and we became cool. And somehow, out of nowhere, I got a call from his manager, like maybe a couple of months later, like, yo, you DJ, right? I'm like, yeah, I could DJ. You want to DJ for Mobb Deep? We're doing a show in Switzerland, but they need somebody to DJ. I'm like, damn, Switzerland, that's dope. I'm like, yeah, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So I went to Switzerland.
Wow.
And I was a temporary DJ at the time.
Feeling.
Next thing you know, they're like, yo, we want to keep you.
Grind it out.
And, dude, when I say we went everywhere, dude, my nigga, we went everywhere. Like, dude, I'm at the Great Wall of China looking at, like, this fucking endless wall of just going over mountains. I'm like, yo, I'm in China. I'm in Africa holding lion cubs, my nigga. Wow. Dude.
All off hip-hop.
All off hip-hop.
All off hip-hop, Hefe.
I'm in fucking golden palaces in Dubai. I'm at billionaires' houses in Dubai at a party. Like, what the fuck am I doing in Dubai, bro? Incredible.
And I know coming from North Carolina, it just feel a tad bit sweeter.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it's a little harder for us down here.
Yeah.
Hey, Hefe.
And I always wanted to go to all these places, and I always thought I was going to go to these places while I was a rapper. But I never, thought I would, later in life, and not even expecting it, DJing for a legendary rap group. Like, the shows we was doing, there was like 20, 30,000 people at every show. It was like intense, bro.
So this is it's not a reunion tour, but it's because they never, separated. But this was Hall of Fame type tour situation.
Dude, this was like Hell on Earth tour. This was like first album tour. This was like, and they never, like, the thing about Mobb Deep, I was never home. Like, they kept me on the road all the time. Like, we would go out for like months, come home for like a week, then go back out for months. I'm like, yo, these niggas work forever. Wow. Forever. If Pete wouldn't have passed, I would still be on a roll Mom Deep.
Right now.
Wow.
It was so much to take in, bro, because I never knew that. That was a gem, my brother.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn, man.
That's what. It's just kind of like you don't know, like.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's been an insightful episode, man.
Wow. That's crazy.
Ski, man, you done been around this game in a couple times, man. Like that's crazy, man.
What's that? 20, 21, 2 years? You started what? 89, 90?
Like
yeah, that's like
20,
that's about 30.
30 years? Oh, I'm thinking from Reasonable Doubt. That was just in my head. But yeah,
30 years making music, doing rap stuff.
And now it's like you literally get to wake up every day and do what you want, what makes you happy every day.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy, man.
But it's still a grind. You know, it's still a grind. But it's cooler when you got a brand. It's easier to move around. You feel me? It's a different kind of grind, but it's fun.
It's been we enjoy having you, man. We're about to wrap it up, man.
I really,
get
really
back on the highway, get to Charlotte. We appreciate
get back to the
you.
city, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? OG, I appreciate you. I really thank you for
man.
this, man.
Appreciate y'all.
You know what I'm saying? And however we can, help with the dojo classes, just continue to let us know. Oh yeah, you want a red stripe? I think we out of the. Are we out of the champagne?
Done.
Want champagne?
We out of the champagne?
That champagne got done quick. Y'all reached it back to me. That motherfucker was goddamn.
It was done. You want a red stripe?
I got a little drip drop. Goddamn.
I said Jamaican.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, Queen, you want a red stripe?
Yeah, red stripe, man.
Hey, man, this is free breakfast, man, and we up out of here.
It's over.
It's over.
It's over like the episode.
It's over like the episode, man. This is free breakfast, and we check in. Hey.